Hello, welcome to my channel. The question I have here on statistics says that we should find the mean deviation of the scores below. So I have these scores from number 1 to 6 and I have their frequency given to us. So we are going to work out the mean deviation. But before we calculate mean deviation, it is very, very important that we calculate the mean first. So in calculating the mean, first of all, we're going to multiply the frequency and the scores, and that will give us fx. So the frequency multiplied by the score will give us fx. So I start by filling this column for fx. 1 multiplied by 2 will give us 2. 2 multiplied by 5 will give us 10. 3 multiplied by 13 will give us 39. 4 multiplied by 11 will give us 44. 5 multiplied by 9 will give us 45. And then 6 multiplied by 10 will give us 60. So the next thing for us to do now is to obtain the summation of this fx value in order to get the mean. So we are going to say this symbol sigma means summation of f of x. That is the f of x values that we have obtained here. We are going to sum them. So this summation sign means that we have to add what we obtained from this multiplication. So we are going to add all these values to get the total. And that will be equal to, if we add all these values here now, if we add from 2 down to this value 60, is going to give us a total of 200. So that is the total of the score that we have here. And then the total of this frequency here, so we can also call it the summation of the frequency. And if we add 2 multiplied by, add 2 to 5, and then 5 plus 13 to plus 11, 9, and 10, the whole of the score should give us 50. So we have the total of 50 there. Now, the next thing for us to do is to obtain the mean of the scores. So mean used with this symbol represents mean. So mean is equal to the summation of the fx value, that is frequency multiplied by the score, all divided by the summation of the frequency. And that should be equal to the summation of fx, which is what we got here, is 200. And then the summation of the frequency is 50. So 200 divided by 50 will give us a mean that is equal to 4. So the mean of the score is 4. So I can go back to my table now and apply that value of the mean in order to complete the table. So here, let me simply write that the mean, don't forget the mean that we just obtained now, is equal to 4. So that is the mean that we just obtained now. Then now, the next thing for us to do is to subtract the mean from each of the score. So these are the scores that we have here. So we subtract the mean from each of them. So 1 minus 4, don't forget the mean is 4. So 1 minus 4 will give us negative 3. And then 2 minus 4 will give us negative 2. 3 minus 4 will give us negative 1. 4 minus 4 will give us 0. 5 minus 4 will give us 1. And then 6 minus 4 will give us 2. Now, the next thing for us to do is to take the absolute value of what we just obtained now. So you can see these bar signs here means the absolute value. Taking the absolute value means we simply ignore the negative sign and just write the values like that. So the absolute value for negative 3 is 3. And then for this, we have 2. And then for this, we have 1. And 0 is 0. And then all the positive values retain their values as well. Then the next thing for us to do is to multiply the frequency and these absolute values that we just obtained. Don't forget, these are the absolute values we just obtained. So we're going to use the frequency to multiply each of the absolute value. So 2 multiplied by 3 will give us 6. 5 multiplied by 2 will give us 10. 13 multiplied by 1 is 13. 11 multiplied by 0 is 0. 9 multiplied by 1 is 9. And then 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. So the next thing for us to do now is to obtain the summation of this one that we just obtained now. So I'm going to write it as the summation of the bar now, which is, the summation of the f multiplied by x minus the mean. And that will be equal to, now, when we add 6 plus 10 is 16, plus 13 is 29, and then plus 9 will give us 38, and plus 20 will give us 58. So the summation of these as a whole give us 58. Now, finally, we can compute the mean deviation now. So the mean deviation now, I'll simply represent it as MD. Mean deviation, MD, will be equal to the summation that we just obtained now, which is the summation for f multiplied by the absolute value of the mean subtracted from each of the score. So that is the summation of this that we just obtained now, divided by the summation of the frequency, f. That will give us the mean deviation. So it is equal to 58, which is the summation of that, then all divided by 50. And that will give us the mean deviation as 1.16 as the final answer. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that I can get more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.